Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Josh Guillory Show. I am your grateful host. And in studio with me today, my dear friend, my cousin, Senator Elbert Guillory. What's going on, cousin?
Good afternoon. Happy to be with this great audience that you always have, Josh.
Man, you ain't kidding. This audience is second to none, guys. We're broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. We just went live on rumble.com. Go check us out at rumble.com. Look up the Josh Guillory Show. We'll open up those phone lines again at the second half of this hour, and I can't wait for that. They were rocking and rolling last hour. I certainly appreciate that. As always, our dear audience carries the show. So, Senator, did you have a good break?
Yes, had a great break. Little cup of coffee.
That's good. Anybody harass you in the hallways?
No.
Well, that's no
When
fun.
you get this old, people don't harass you anymore. They just ignore you.
They know you're a sailor. That's why. Like, I'm not messing with that guy. Hey, go check out my friend Keith Kishbaugh over there at Kishbaugh Construction. We certainly appreciate you, Kish, for sponsoring this segment and appreciate all of what you do for our party and our community. Certainly appreciate you, my friends. He runs a tight ship over there at Florida Lee now as a sergeant at arms. Don't mess with him. I'm just telling you. I'm just throwing that one out there.
Go Kish.
All right. So let's talk a little bit more about, we're going to talk about the U.S. Senate election here in Louisiana. We had a primary this past Friday. If you're just joining us, all 5 state amendments have failed. That's a rarity. You rarely see that happening. Here in Lafayette Parish, the voters said no to renewing another tax, which I say you can't renew something that doesn't exist. So they chose not to tax themselves on a certain issue. This case is a library millage for a certain period of time. I'm sure they'll work some things out, maybe get some communication, maybe some changes are made. I don't know, but the folks have spoken. And I think this may be an opportunity for our local government to really look at tax reform. And it's very easy to do. Put them all on the ballot. You literally right size it in one sweeping smoot, one big beautiful bill, big beautiful ordinance. Just put it right there, and you just carve off a little bit of that millage, a little bit of that millage. You put it on to your priorities, okay? That's right sizing. Then you're going to be left with a situation where you're going to have more money than you need once you right size it. Give it back to the folks. That's what real tax reform looks like. And I should have done it, Kuzan, my last year in office, and I said, it'd be too political because it's an election year. I should have done it.
We learn.
So, anywho, but guess what? That idea's still out there. So down the street, you could take it. Don't even say my name. You own it and give us some tax relief. How's that? I don't care who gets the credit. Just go do it.
We need to do that in Opelousas, too.
Speaking of Opelousas, you'd said there was 2 millages, I believe, 1 or 2 millages that both failed. So just in this area in Acadiana, okay, these 2 parishes, you had 3 millages that failed and the 5 statewide amendments failed as well. One of those amendments we probably could have communicated better, and that was the inventory tax, like getting away with it, or at least putting it in the hands of the local governments, which is very much where it should be. Okay, it should be at the state level. That is for sure. And I understand the method in which they want to bring that, where 3 entities have to agree or whatnot. I do want to make it clear the governing body is the council and not the executive branch. So if you hear an executive branch over there touting about, I would support it. Well, why'd you raise our taxes? Because you could have vetoed it. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not here to put anybody down.
And we in politics have to do a better job of communicating to the taxpayers what we're spending their money for, how that money is being spent, and that it's a good idea and not a bad idea. Too many bad ideas, non-common sense ideas that are taking taxpayers' money out of their pockets and spending them on who knows what.
I was about to say on who knows what. But, the taxpayers, here's the thing, tell me what you think. The taxpayers do get informed by their eyes, by being around and watching. And I think we're sitting here in St. Landry Parish, and Lafayette Parish, and St. Martin Parish, and Acadia, Iberia. You can go on. At least all the Acadiana parishes, but it seems like all 64. Well, most of the 64 parishes. But we're just tired of government not doing what it's supposed to do. I mean, look, government's very easy. Keep people safe, keep the economy rolling. The local government, do your infrastructure projects, do your drainage, do your roads. but keep your folks safe. So when people are looking around, they see crime rate in certain areas going out the roof. They see their leaders that they elected to enforce crime using it for like political reasons. That hurts trust. When they see all the taxes they pay and they don't see roads being paved, that hurts trust. Whenever people, I mean, yeah, I get it. We did a whole bunch of drainage work, and it's 10 years past 2016, but you still got to be vigilant. Otherwise, you'll have another 2016 flood. So you gotta stay on top of that. So when you see a lack of bulldozers, but you see the government's budget growing, and in some instances in local government more than $100 million, and I'm referring to Lafayette on that case, you would expect more things, more tangible things. So I think that is what hurts the it's not even voter apathy, because people went out to vote. They said no, and it's just a lack of trust.
A very loud no.
Extremely. But at the local level, whether it's doggone Caddo Parish or Orleans Parish or whatnot, that is where you see government the most. That's where you're supposed to see government the most. That's where you're supposed to see it. And that's why this whole mentality, a big government mentality, Louisiana is such a conservative state, yet we will not let go of our centralized Baton Rouge government.
Too many rhinos right now are in our Louisiana government. And we've got to get those folks out and return to just common sense folks, people with just plain common sense who can make good decisions for the people. We got to protect our people, educate our children.
That kind of sounds like common sense. That kind of sounds nice.
That's the way we think. We think in Lawtel.
That's right, baby. So look, you have another. I mean, you say rhinos, Republican in name only. Absolutely, that's the downfall of our way of locally our way of life. Okay, too much dependency. But regardless, when you're in the legislature, or excuse me, I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just saying, okay, when you have your government leaders pushing, we're majority Republican, whether we like it or not. We're a majority conservative. We're not majority Republican. We're a majority conservative state, voting Republican overwhelmingly. Whether you're registered that or not, the votes for the Republican Party are overwhelming in our state right now. So when you see our elected officials in Baton Rouge giving the Democrats a seat, we're going to move on to congressional districts. When you see the government voluntarily, meaning not forced to, creating a second district tailored to a Democrat politician, that's a problem. Matter of fact, the person that ran against that person sitting right against me, right in front of me, and he was less than 1% away from going into a runoff with, now it's Congressman Cleo Fields. If it's a runoff, we're calling him Congressman Elbert Guillory, because there's no way the Republican Party could have turned their back on him at that point. They would have had to. There's only a few Republicans out there. There's only, that were in. But not to bring up old stories there.
But the truth is the truth. And, the Supreme Court has done away with these set-aside districts. And there's a lot of wailing and weeping right now, gnashing of teeth. A lot of people are very upset. But it was predictable. The Supreme Court has been getting rid of set-asides for a while. They got rid of affirmative action, which was a set-aside in education primarily and employment. They got rid of DEI, the inclusion, the concept that we have to have a certain number of these and a certain number of those. The Supreme Court has found that is just not proper for America. And the same is within set-aside political districts. So those districts have been outlawed. Now we have an opportunity to do something different. We're being forced by the Supreme Court to do something different. But beyond being forced, there's an opportunity for us to create a new partnership.
Yes.
Instead of having some people stuck in districts that have not worked, those set-aside districts have not worked. That's where the high crime is.
It's unnatural.
That's where the high unemployment is. The terrible education, the bad schools are. So this has not worked for anybody.
Just how has Democrat leadership helped Orleans Parish in the last 50 years?
Huh.
Because I got to tell you, this district, it is based. All right. So let's just go back to history. All right. So let's go at the original. The census happens in 2020. It's now 2026 anyway. So 2020 comes along. It gets us new numbers every 10 years. You usually every 10 years you redo your districts or you modify them a little bit. Well, we voluntarily took it upon ourselves with a majority Republican House or super majority House, super majority Senate, and a Republican in the governor's seat. We voluntarily gave the Democrats a seat. We called it a second majority minority district because we falsely told the people that we were required to do so. But I'm all about leaders can change their mind. A good leader changes their mind under certain circumstances. I think you should not be so rigid. Yes, you say something that's based on the facts at the time, but some things happen. You want to just continue to dig in? No, you can change your mind. People can change their minds. It's okay. Not a problem. Good leaders will do that in the heat of it. Well, guess what? In the heat of it, for whatever reason, maybe it was political pressure from Republicans. I don't know. But I like it because they switched gears and they said, well, hold on. Turns out this map that we're pushing, well, we're going to say it's unconstitutional based on the Voting Rights Act. Now, if you're following me for the first time on this, I know it's interesting. I use my words. I use my kind words. It's interesting that we would take a position and then draw the map and then say that map is unconstitutional. You got to work hard to do that. But we did it, and that's fine. And they rightfully said, this is unconstitutional. This district is based on race, and it's based predominantly on race. What are you talking about? All right, so it kicks back to Louisiana. The Supreme Court agreed, Guillory versus Louisiana. Here we go. So now you have to redo your district. Why are we, it said, Guillory said, the Supreme Court said, you can't draw a district based predominantly on race. We're not doing racism anymore. Government is against racism, okay? All right, good. Everybody should be. That's fantastic. So when it came back, the mandate, my dear friends in Baton Rouge, was not, you must create a district that will favor Democrats. That was not part of the instructions. That was not part of the ruling.
Not at all.
It said you can't base a doggone district predominantly on race. That's what the ruling was. So two thoughts. One, this remaining district, the first district that you just mirrored, well, if the second district based on the same thing, race, was unconstitutional, well, clearly this one's going to be unconstitutional. But then this is where, and it's not coming from Democrats, it's coming from Republicans. Oh, well, we have to worry about Orleans. Yeah, we should. I love New Orleans. How about do them a solid and give them a Republican congressman? How has the Democrat Party helped the city of New Orleans and the parish of Orleans? It has not. So try democracy.
You just asked the question. In the last 50 years, what has happened in New Orleans? Education hit the toilet. Safety hit the toilet. People are moving out of New Orleans because of its rotten education and it's unsafe.
It's unsafe. So it's a doggone war zone in some of them areas, man. But I hope it's getting better. I do like what the governor did with Troop NOLA. I thought that was a good move. Consolidate some efforts there. And but we're getting a hard break here. I gotta take a title break. I'm gonna get fussed at. I'm having too much fun. Doggone. All right, guys, stick around, man. We will be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We are broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. We're also broadcasting live on rumble.com. I want to see you over there at rumble.com. Shout out to our KLFY Plus viewing audience. I got my dear friend in here, Senator Albert Guillory. Man, how are you doing, cousin?
Couldn't be better. Enjoying this conversation.
Hey, look! I wish we had another hour. I cut ourselves short the last one, and now I want to extend it. Maybe Joe, let's just keep on talking. He'll do his show, and we'll just have our own little show in the corner, and no one will hear it though. All right, guys, we're talking about so much. Senator Albert Guillory and I, my dear cousin. Let me tell you about my friends, though, first at Dr. Kevin's Wellness Clinic. I want you to go check them out over there. Dr. Kevin's Wellness Clinic. You can't go wrong over there. 983-CARE. I want you to go visit him. Look, if you have any questions, maybe you're feeling kind of foggy, you want to get your mind right, maybe your energy level's down. Look, go check out some functioning medicine. Go check out maybe some additions to what you're doing. Maybe you can change your routine. Who knows? Can't hurt, may help. That's what Coach Dick Vermeil would say, to my understanding. Go check him out, 983-CARE here in Lafayette, Louisiana. That's Dr. Kevin at Dr. Kevin's Wellness Clinic. Let's continue with our discussion. So Senator Guillory and I were discussing this recent election. There, we had some things go over this weekend. All 5 amendments failed. Millages failed. Basically, the local folks are just saying we don't trust you. And maybe part of that is these congressional maps too. It doesn't help. You know, at some local levels, you're looking at, say, hey, can you get your priorities in order? Without that, and we don't see it because all you're doing is growing government. They don't say it like that. But the reason why you don't see roads being paved, drainage being done, and other infrastructure projects, to include quality of life projects and parks, is because they're not a priority. Growing government is a priority. Building the throne is a priority. Just saying, just my observations.
Building the throne is. I think that the voters, by saying no to so many things in this election, are saying that we have to have more independence and less political control. We have some people in Baton Rouge who really want to be kings, and we have to stop that and let people make their own decisions, make their own choices, and then they'll be satisfied. But when you have someone at the top trying to shove down our throats, choose people for us, make decisions for us, that's not what we want. We want to make our decisions.
That's a good point. We had a guy call in. It might have been one of our regular calls, but right when we first, maybe about a year ago, going 2 years now, that's great. But a year ago, we talked about endorsements and what does that really do? Because I still say some endorsements mean something, but I don't know where that is. Like I don't because one caller called Big Chris. He said, "Hey, Trump endorsed Letlow, so she must be pretty good." And I don't think either one of them are bad. But I can see that. I can see that endorsement carrying weight. Now, some of the other endorsements with it, I don't know.
I believe that the president's endorsement did carry a lot of weight in this first round.
Now, here's my question. It's a fair question. Is that her ceiling, or is that her floor?
I believe that was her ceiling. I believe that a lot of people now will react to the independence concept. We're not going to let someone tell us, not a president, not a governor, tell us who should be our representative. We'll make the decisions for ourselves. And I think that independence concept is going to play heavily. I think that the big issue is going to be carbon capture. And how
so
that's going to play
think
out.
the carbon capture is going to be an issue in the U.S. Senate race?
Absolutely.
Talk to me. How?
On one hand, we have someone who's against carbon capture. And on the other hand, we have someone who is engaged to marry the biggest lobbyist for carbon capture. So we got anti-carbon capture and a pro-carbon capture. And just for those folks, if you don't know what carbon capture is, it's about taking Louisiana's lands from you, taking Pawpaw's farmland, whether you want to give it up or not, they can take it through eminent domain. And then when they take it, they're going to put carbon poison deep underground. And that carbon poison, when it cuts loose, has caused terrible trouble. In Sataria, Mississippi, you can check that out. 40, 50 people had to go to the hospital. And some of them are still having major health problems as a result of this poison that got loose. Got loose in Africa, killed a whole village over there.
Well, and here's my appreciation of it. It's so eminent domain or expropriation. Did I say that right? I did. Okay, good. I should know. But anyway, there has to be a public purpose. I mean, you have to do it sometimes. I mean, it's got to be the extreme. First of all, you should go through a legislative body. No, then you have to. So you can't, like, one governor can't do it by himself, or a parish president or mayor. You got to go through your legislative body. But it has to be for a public purpose. So I think the issue with the carbon capture is it's not identified as a public purpose yet. And I heard, and I hope I'm wrong on this, is the eminent domain, would it be the government taking it but giving it to a private company or working with a private company? Am I?
Absolutely.
See, I don't see that's not a drainage project. That's not a road project. That's not an infrastructure project that you can totally objectively, not subjectively, you can say there is no other way.
No, they give it to a private company, and that company injects the poison underneath that property.
Like that's. I mean, did anybody else running a business? Y'all got that deal? Does anybody have that deal? I'd like to know that deal.
But wait, the worst part of this whole thing is that there are these things called Q45 credits. They use taxpayer money to fund this whole scheme.
Well, it's starting to seem interesting as far as it's tilting. I don't want to go as far as saying it's a scheme, but boy, the scheme sure has some of the same bones to
smell to it.
Yeah, Well, we'll take us just a tiny little break, okay? Just a tiny little break. When we get back, I can't wait. Just stick around. Senator Guillory and I will be right back.
Dr. Alexis Amos Dean, Noble Wellness and Prevention. She's our industry ace hormone specialist. And, we talk a lot about hormone therapy and hormone replacement.
Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We are broadcasting live from the KPEL Studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Man, let me tell you about my friends over there at Giles Nissan, Opelousas, Lafayette. Go visit those guys. I'm telling you, you want a wide variety of just automobiles in general? Go to Giles Nissan. Go to Giles Nissan, Opelousas, Lafayette. They got deals going on all the time. Ask them about their service department too. Once you buy a Nissan at Giles Nissan, look, it's not like buying it from another place. You are a customer for a long time, for life. They treat you as a family. When you bring your vehicle in, it's not one and done. You bring it in for maintenance, they're going to treat your vehicle just like it's brand new. They're going to hand it back to you better than when they received it. Clean it up, things like that. And they shoot you straight. I think the Giles way is that way. Giles Automotive, of course, this is one of those companies, but Giles Nissan, Opelousas, Lafayette. I really want you to go check them out. They got deals all over the place, all over the time, all over the place. But mostly, it's the value that they give in customer service. So go check them out. Giles Nissan, Opelousas, Lafayette. You've been to Giles Nissan?
Yes, indeed.
Wonderful location. Friendly folks,
Good Opelousas folks, good Lafayette folks.
See that? We were just talking about tying those two communities together in the break.
Truly.
Hey.
You do know how Lafayette got started, right?
Well,
a couple of Opelousas boys. Lafayette. And look at how well it has done. It was an Opelousas idea.
There you go. So we are grateful. You see how that works? We are grateful.
We appreciate it.
But look,
that gratitude.
You know what else I appreciate? Those nice callers. Let's see here. Those nice callers that are on hold. Man, we're going to go straight to the phone lines. You can join our conversation, 232-1542. You want to talk about the Senate election. You want to talk about all amendments failing. You want to talk about all these new taxes that fail. That's what they are. They're not renewal. You can't renew something that's not there. These new tax proposals, 3 of them, 2 in St. Landry and 1 in Lafayette, that the voters said, no, you didn't prove that you needed enough. And by the way, can you please move the panhandlers, fix the potholes, and doggone clean up the place, and can you do some drainage projects? I think that's what folks are trying to tell the government. All right, let's go straight to the phone lines. Caller, you're live on the Josh Guillory Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? That's right. Grateful to the Opelousas folks, according to my dear cousin, Senator Guillory. What's up, Sean? Round 2, baby. Bring some heat. That's right. That's right. Man, Sean, you were spot on, brother. You were spot on. And biggest point I think we could take away from your call is there's only one Trump. Like this whole MAGA. Yeah, yeah. Ooh.
Overall, that's correct. He's done a great job overall.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. And I think a lot of people are shaking their heads. But to your point, there's only one of him. And if it's Rubio next or J.D. Vance, hey, fantastic, But they're going to be their own people. There have been 45 presidents, 47 administrations, 45 presidents. There's only been 45 in the history of our country in 250 years. None of them are the same. They're all different.
True. Absolutely true.
Yeah, just again the identity politics, Sean. You know they can't win with ideas. So when you can't win with ideas, you won't make people vulnerable. You take people in a vulnerable state. You abuse that vulnerability. But that's what the party of slavery does. That's what the party of slavery does. Oh, we can go on and on. And the Voting Rights Act of 1964, which is a great piece of legislation, 1965 as well, couldn't have got there without Republican votes. All right, Sean, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Let's see here. All right, caller, you're live on the Josh Guillory Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's up, Renee? I was wondering where you at. About to send a search party for you, buddy.
Very well.
I wasn't expecting the sunshine, man. I like it, Renee. Hey, I'm following you. I'm. Well, I don't know, but I'll keep looking. Appreciate you, Renee. Let's see here. Caller, you're live on the Josh Guillory Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, Justin, did you hear me? I gave you a shout out earlier. That's my buddy. Mm-hmm. Man, you can't unless you're watching on Rumble or the stream. I'm high fiving you over here. That whole QR code thing is kind of it's kind of like the congressional match. It's really disrespectful to the folks now. Like you're telling us one thing, but we see through your nonsense. And Justin, you are so spot on with a lot of the sentiment that you're saying. Okay, that's why people just said no. We don't. It's just a lack of trust, and it's so easy to get trust back by just doing what government's supposed to do, or like you said, just do what you said you're going to do on the campaign trail. Yeah, that's right. Hey, Justin, I only have my own little experience. Everybody comes to the table with their own experience. But, I mean, I don't know. When I was in office, I went to Washington and was advocating for some things in Lafayette, which one of my jobs. But I remember talking to John Fleming. It was in the White House, and he was introduced as Deputy Chief of Staff. So, I mean, I don't know.
He has the pay stubs.
Albert says he has the pay stubs. Of course it'll come out. Yes, great. I'm running to a commercial break. Man, Justin, I appreciate you, man. Talk to you soon. All right, guys, stick around. If you are on hold, just be on hold just for a tiny, tiny, tiny little moment. We'll be right back. I promise. I did it.
Just that.
To life with high-quality printing, custom designs, and fast, reliable service. From business cards and brochures to banners, signs, and more, TJ Print delivers professional results that help your business stand out.
There we go. We got one more. I don't think I'm taking this off air yet. Just one. It was just like 15 seconds. That don't count. Boy, Jeff is getting his butt handed to him.
Woo!
When you think
I
about
believe
it-
he's a one-termer.
You think so?
I bet you a bottle of wine. Well,
I'll give it to my bride.
We need to go to dinner with her. She's on the fence, but she's open to it. You know, that's okay.
we got a thing that we need to release, a video that we need to.
Well, I don't know why I don't know how to do it. Quentin does, and Elbert does. E2 maybe.
Q says he has the setup. When last time we talked in your office, he had the setup so that he could narrowly focus our release into those two parishes.
Okay. Let me text him. I'm gonna text him with both of us on.
All IQ Bar products plus free shipping. Clean
Because-
ingredients, amazing taste.
Oh,
and
no.
love how you
What did I
feel.
just do?
Refuel smarter,
Oh, there we
hydrate
go.
harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 9 plant protein bars, 8 hydration mixes, and 4 mushroom coffee sticks. And now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products.
My boy
plus free
Dustin,
shipping when you text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000 to get your 20% off. That's radio to 64,000.
Say rate in May and save at Ray Chevrolet. Get huge discounts on all new Chevys and pre-owned vehicles in stock. Like the 2026 Colorado WT Crew Cab is on sale for $32,988. So together, let's drive and say Ray in May. Ray Chevrolet in Abbeville or RayChevy.com. Stock on 6465 MSRP 36.4. $1,100 rebate. $2,400 rate discount. Plus finance. Ray Chevy. See for details with the proof in stock.
So Dustin, you know Dustin Arno? Dustin, he's
This is a special
dives into
order
politics.
for
He's big into Julia Letlow's campaign. Huge. So he's like wanting to call in. He's sending me texts, you know, because of I voted for John. I'm gonna vote for John again. So you know, but I'd say yeah, call in. But he just sent me something saying he heard that John was going to concede on Wednesday. I'm like, I don't think so.
Really?
He's only conceding. What would he concede? Run for governor, maybe?
Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. His protection plan is at an all-time high. Additionally, drivers
Jeff
who are
endorsed Julia. He may run against him
also receive free roadside assistance, free towing,
That would be interesting.
because he still has money in the bank. He could just hold on to it. Cassidy maybe run for governor.
What do you have to lose?
He's got $9 million. He could convert it.
I gotta ask him for some of that.
Yes, yes, you do.
Cause I helped him his first go around, but now
In my life,
He's
thousands of accident victims. Car,
you know,
maritime,
it's what it
and work.
is.
And while no two
I don't know why he ran.
one thing is true of all of them.
You could have went out on a high note, just say, "Hey, look, I did my 2 terms. You know what I mean? I voted my conscience.
At 337,
I tried to be conservative.
or visit
Y'all have a good day."
and he knew
Yeah,
that the forces.
right here.
yeah, he knew.
News Talk 96.5. KPEL.
Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We're broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Y'all go check out my friend Dr. Kevin at Dr. Kevin's Wellness Clinic. I love him, love him, love him. And check out my dear friends over there at Stan's Auto for all your automobile needs. Go check out my friends over there at Stan's Auto. 2 locations, one in New Iberia, one in Lafayette. Can't go wrong. Great customer service over there as well. And I didn't know. I was getting my oil changed the other day, and if you need to buy some tires, guess what? They got that too. Stan's Auto. They got it all. They got it all, y'all. And if they don't, they'll order it. It comes in really quick. Really, really quick. All right, let's continue our discussion. We got them phone lines open. I have a certain friend that better call in. He's been teasing me. He has some info too that he'd like to share. It's probably really good info too. All right, so we had an election this weekend, as you may know. A lot of things happened. Then we talk about this congressional district again. But I do have some news. The governor announced earlier today that they are setting, let's see here, setting the election, by the way. October 3rd will be the primary for the House, U.S. House election will be October 3rd. The runoff will be November 21st. November 21st. Now, I'm assuming that is party primaries, and there'll be, I don't know. That's what's coming out of the news that I had earlier today. But it's set for this year. That's a takeaway. And we don't know when the qualifying is. You got a frown on your face. What's happening?
There's just so much confusion about this. I mean, the people started voting for Congress people. I mean, after they had sent in votes and all of the ballots were printed, then that was canceled, and now we have another party primary October 1st, and then another party election in the end of October. This is nuts, man. It's too much confusion.
You can't make it up. And they wonder why we vote against the amendments and everything they put to us. It's just a lack of trust. Let's keep the phone lines open, 232-1542. Let's see here. Caller, you're live on the Josh Guillory Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Woo! We're so happy you're here, and I'm so happy you called in. What you got today? Mm-hmm.
President Trump, he did what he did. Now he got her out of Congress, and means her to get rid of Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
But now she's done her part. Now everybody can see who she is.
Ooh.
And I'm hearing, her talking out of her own mouth. And she can't work together except they be agreed. And if the man she's going to marry or supposed to marry, whatever, is a carbon sequestration, well, which she's going to be for, and she'll be in a senator if they, elect her. And so who's she going to, whose side she going to be on? John Kennedy, President Trump, or her husband?
Oh, she.
And who's going to ask me all that? I can't remember what the first name was. But anyway, Louisiana is a very interesting place to live.
I'm so happy you're here too. You see, Kuzam, this is why I say the lady callers and the lady listeners is what really carries this show. Did you see how wise that analysis was?
She went right to it.
No fluff, just here it is. Just replicated all the majority opinion of most folks listening.
Exactly. She pulled the meat right out of the gravy.
Yes, ma'am.
He got her out of Congress, okay? So now, Negus has the chance to run for Congress. So if Negus is in Congress and John Kennedy is in the Senate, we'll have a little more muscle to,
I'm with you. Well, thank you so much. We got a minute left. I'm going to go to another caller. Let's see here. Caller, you're live on the Josh Guillory Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, caller, you're live. Yep, go ahead, Mr. Bobby. We got 20 seconds. Woo! I love it. 10-8. He 10-8'd us twice. No 10-4 there. Anyway. Hey, guys, look, a lot of folks are with Mr. Bobby on that. And if you're on hold waiting, I'm so sorry. That's all the time we have today. We're going to wrap up here in a little bit. Senator Elbert Guillory, I certainly appreciate you. Kuzan, thank you for being on the show.
It's always a pleasure. And I'm sure, as you said, Paul Guillory is upstairs smiling.
Amen. Amen. And I'm certainly smiling each and every day I get to be with you, this wonderful, lovely audience. Guys, I am so blessed. Thank you guys so much for being here. Be careful out there, man. May God be with you. And be kind.